mention is Syndra.
Yes.
He goes I think it was his first Syndra game. He goes 12-0 to rescue a game 2 for BLG. This guy, I mean, there's so many champions he's amazing at, but dare I say, I don't know if any other Syndra players in the world can touch him right now.
There are 4 champions I always will associate with Knight. It is going to be Akali, his Syndra, his Sylas, and his Ahri. Those 4 champions are iconic for this guy. So, take a look at bans. Nico, Sylas, Ambessa, Varus, Orianna, and Jace. Malphite has been a big pick here for JDG, but I do think you're giving over some pretty important champions. Rumble, in my mind, Xin Zhao is incredible. This does mean that some of those immobile mages are not going to be as enticing here for Knight.
Interesting spot to mention that I do feel like jungle matchup-wise, the answer to kind of shut down Malphite has been kind of going Mundo, right? Because they are diametrically opposed to how they approach fights. Don't know if Xun, how many reps he's got on the Mundo, if he's willing to pull that out, but something to keep a note of. But like you called out, with so many of these big junglers. Oh, hey, look at me. Oh.
This is weird, though, because I always feel like Xun plays a role for this team that involves him having to either be the tip of the spear or him in some way like creating angles for his team. Mundo is a farming jungler. It is something that kind of plays into how Xun typically wants to play, which is like a main carry jungle role, but is a tank. And you don't have tons of ways of engaging. So I think this is going to have to be a really big call-up for either On or someone else in this team to have the engage position.
Love it, Viper. Hey, Gala, you got the most pentakills on Yunara. Some people are calling you the Yunara, you know, the Yunara Slayer. I'm a pick it into you, Gala. Show you what the best AD in the world looks like on Yunara on Season 16. But like we talked about earlier on in our series, Aphelios is a pretty good answer in a Yunara, especially makes laning pretty tough. And the one sell right now for Gala Vampire is they are running over laning phase. What
is your bot lane pair? You can go... Braum is not great. There's a Mundo, but many supports in the game are not awesome into this champion. You could go for an Enchanter. I mean, Lulu is always fine. Also just cuts a lot of what BLG in terms of engage are going to be looking for. We could also just try to blind one of our mids. I do think that it is something that is available to JDG if they feel like HongQ's pool might get pinched later on. In a Thresh pick, I don't like this as much. Thresh gets run over by Mundo later on, so that's a bit worrisome here.
Quite a front line we're building here for BLG. Where does Bin want to go? I wonder what this pick looks like. So they're fine having Knight go into the next phase, maybe taking a lot of bans here. Do they really like the Renekton here for Bin? I think it's another good answer in a Malphite. I think the value of this first pick Malphite has lost a significant amount of its bite with the front line BLG have put together.
Oh yeah, Renekton's going to be way too tanky to burst out. Just the build that he has access to. I mean, you get Black Cleaver, you can get a Sterix Gauge, and suddenly Dominus plus that, you have over 1500 HP in shielding, plus the teleport changes we keep mentioning. Second phase of draft here, we're looking at mid lanes. A lot of the immobile ones are going to be kind of weird. You also always have to take into consideration that an Anivia might come out, as HongQ has really been leaning on this champion in some of their games, has been picking up a lot of steam. I'm surprised by the Cassante ban, but Xiaoxu has mostly made his name in the last 6 months on Renekton, Rumble, and Cassante, so all of those, only the Rumbles left over.
I want to ask you what you think of, is a Lulu ban worth throwing down? Wow, I'm on a roll.
There you go. What else? Give me more. They cut you off, brother.
Azir ban. Oh, wait, I switched sides. My bad. BLG?
Quickly, come on.
Zahen ban. I don't know.
No, you're playing Renekton. Come on.
Help, Color Caster. Sion ban.
Yeah, that's good too. Sion's reasonable. You could go for Gnar.
Azir ban. Azir.
Hey, Azir ban.
I'm calling it. See if I can go 3 for 3. Is Azir a good ban in your opinion? I feel like it's
okay. I mean, you're always going to be threatened by Malphite, but I do think that Knight does need to beat some Azir allegations. His last game was not great. It was the only loss that they had in their series versus AL. So I want to see either he's going to put a little bit more time into it.
Damn.
Cassiopeia to me says that HongQ wants to pick up a Rise game here. I wonder if Knight is going to let him have that. I think a Talia actually does make a little bit of sense, but is again susceptible to the Malphite problem.
I do also think if Knight, if we get Rise, if we get Azir, plays perfectly into this like scaling group of Yunara, Mundo, Azir, right? Like they are, no way. I don't care about falling for Hover.
This is good. This is good. On has been known to play Blitzcrank before.
Yeah!
We are getting a Blitzcrank into Malphite, Thresh, Aphelios. These are all great targets here for BLG. And playing right into the playstyle. I mean, an explosive 2v2 already here in the bottom lane. And a very tanky front line. These are going to be very slow fights here for both teams.
You know who loves a slow fight? Definitely a Yunara. Viper's going to be a fan of it. And they've held counter pick here for Knight. So now seeing the full comp, is it time to beat the allegations? I do think leading Scaler is the right call next to Yunara and Amundo.
So, Syndra is fine. Again, there is no mid lane mage right now that you're going to be able to pick up that can deal with Malphite properly. But Syndra gives you tools to play early. BLG, they have good lanes for playing topside. Now, this Gnar matchup can be explosive. We're probably going to be seeing a Grasp of the Undying here for Bin, as that's going to be something that you kind of use to survive the early laning phase. But there is not enough action through the jungle. I think a portion of why BLG has been so successful early on this season is that you have Shun being able to play aggressive. I love that On is showing just how cold it is.
Yeah, I was about to say, he goes, oh, he's cold. That's funny. And then, all right, you know what we have to evolve, though? I want to see, after a game win, that's also a 6 Selly. I don't know, maybe some Premier League fans are out there, Cole Palmer fans. You go, well, that's his Selly. That's a nice one to hit. You call a game, you stand up, you go, like, this is the crowd? Some serious aura farming going on there. All right.
If he knows that, then good on him.
Well, wait, I swear I saw... Didn't I see you were showing us Sots? One of these players was wearing a Chelsea jacket. So, I mean, like, that's Cole Palmer. That's Cole Palmer's team. That's all I'm saying. So, I don't know. We probably won't see that. I'm just hyped. I'm excited. This is going to be a statement match to define Split 1 of the LPL. How big of contenders are we ready to make JDG? And how damn good are Bilibili Gaming going to be in the LPL in 2026? Are we turning the clock back 2 years before? Definitely going to have some serious arguments either way by the time we're done and dusted with this Group Ascent series. And it's time to hit Summoner's Rift to kick it all off.
Oh, no.
No, not in the home arena.
Oh, no. That's so...
takeover on our hands.
They literally started the fan chant. One person says the Giles, and Arrow starts laughing. Oh, brother. Okay, well... Not the grass that I was expecting, but it is Conqueror, and Bin is just fighting level 1. I mean, sure, you can do this, but it's a little dangerous if you miss a spell here.
Maybe trying to, I guess you can't really take Xiaoxu out of XP range, so at least he's gonna get on his way towards level 2. I do, as we kind of settle into things and we start to see these clears, going back to your point about this Mundo, playing this may feel comfortable for Shun, but I do think it definitely takes away from that sort of full court press style that BLG like to go for in most games. It's not as easy with a Mundo.
Yeah, and it's not like they're just trying to smash all their lanes immediately. I do think that BLG do take a lot of hands trades because they know they have the best player in the league in mid lane a lot of the times. But there's just a lot of movement around mid lane. So Mundo can chase down a Malphite, but all he's doing is just throwing cleavers. There's not like a Xin Zhao for a knockup. And I don't know, we'll have to kind of see what that does for the flavor of this game. Knight is almost...
HongQ! Oh my
Jesus
gosh.
Christ!
I mean, hey, He understands the assignment of this matchup, right? If I wanna stake my claim to the LPL, this is the guy to beat. And HongQ will solo kill Knight to kick off our series.
By the way, he did that in the most baby faker way possible. That was very reminiscent of the Perks versus Cap solo kill. Flashes over a minion, gets the overload right on top of him, and that's the first blood. Knight has been nigh unkillable in the mid lane on a lot of these series. He's been very stalwart about not using summoner spells, and right there, he gets completely punished by HongQ.
What a start. Just his second year playing Tier 1. And he's soloing out Knight in their first ever matchup.
And that was like near pixel perfect because the minion is right next to him. There's a very real possibility that that minion just tanks the overload and the fight is completely lost there. So a great play. Now we're going for a dive on top side. I think this is so fake. We have no damage.
Okay, hops down for Xiaoxu. When is he going to flash? Perfect time there. Bin goes for the slice and nice. Shun takes up turret. Xiaoxu's going to make it a 1-for-1. And Bin take an extra turret shot. He doesn't have flash. JunJia is going to flash at him, roll a boulder on in. The chase down is there. JunJia makes it 2 on the top side for JDG.
Jindong are saying, is this the best you got? Is this the best of the league? Is this your king? Just give me the crown at this point. JDG with 2 free kills coming on through. And a pretty big mistake from BLG. Maybe some of that hubris starting to kick in. I mean, this is awesome for Xiaoxu. He gets a great lane setup for himself. Malphite is just farming a storm. And the bottom lane hasn't done anything. We have not really gotten too much action between On and Vampire.
So I do think Shun got executed.
Yes, but still, that's local experience.
True, right. Just not the gold. As On landing the hook on a HongQ. Remember, he used the flash for the play in the mid lane to kill off Knight.
No.
The heal speed up. Vampire's going to ruin. He gets the heal speed up as well. Throws down the dark passage. Are they looking for a turn here with JunJia? All right, Jun's going to come. Join the party a little bit here. Knight likely waiting on cooldowns. On as well, looking for a hook target. He's not going to find anyone. HongQ without flash gets out from the pick play.
By the way, what is Vampire doing in that play where he's throwing the lantern after he walks forward? Can we just talk about the positioning and the thought process behind that? Great flash from Xiaoxu, and Bin, thinking that he had enough damage from the slice and dice, doesn't even think to input an auto command there. So ends up staying a little too long, takes a turret shot, and again, free kill. JunJia's got a lot of kill gold. And again, that local experience from Shun dying is gonna help. So he's already halfway through level 5. If he finishes his Gromp here, I think he actually just gets level 6 on the Gromp. And if it's not this, then it's gonna be the bottom side scuttle.
Damn, Bin doesn't have ultimate, and he still gets a really good trade into Xiaoxu. He gets away from the stun. So Bin, despite, I mean, he does pick up the kill onto Xiaoxu, so he does have that advantage. JDG off to a torrential start here. They have bot lane pressure with Vampire and Gala as well with the Graviton. Vampire's looking for On here. The Battle of the Hook champions. Now they're going to throw theirs out for now, but JDG, the Realm War play, they're looking to overload. The minion wave's cut down, though, so they're already taking aggro.
Oh my God!
Vampire's going to cleanse, flash himself away by as much time as he can. JunJia will fall to the turret. On flashes himself out to safety. Vampire picks up the kill. Now Knight has showed up. The golden left hand looking to punish JDG's transgressions, and a great scatter of the week should set up Shun for the kill. They're going to give it over to Vampire. The turret will help it out. Excuse me, Knight grabbing that one, and a good little response there from BLG.
Some good plays there, and an unfortunate hook there from Vampire may have ruined the entire play. BLG, their bottom lane gets dove. Is this the dragon going over to BLG after a fantastic dive? I think the idea behind it, great Realm World setup. JunJia got the level 6 after finishing his Gromp, so it set that play up in its entirety. But BLG, they get at least a few kills on the back end, and more importantly, Knight gets some credit there, so he's going to get to his evolve sooner with those Splinters of Wrath.
And while it is a couple hundred gold shillings, it is Bilibili Gaming reclaiming that lead. Like you mentioned, though, Knight trying to get that reset off. I wonder how close he actually is to that first Splinter evolution. We won't get to see. Also pretty big that Vampire, I think he did everything he could to survive as long as possible, and he gets rewarded with that trade kill. So he also now holds a slight gold edge into Gala.
Let's see what else they can get. There's still a plate going over to JDG, so they're just getting closer to their quest completion. Remember, turret plates also give you some progress, however minuscule it is. It feels really good, especially as an AD carry when you're playing this champion. I mean, they had to hotfix nerf Aphelios for 26-1. Just because the flat lethality and the fact that you just have access to 200 damage crit now thanks to the new season. Seeing some early movements. No Dragon quite yet on the cards, but I mean, Malphite has level 7, also still has the ultimate available. I think it is a tough ask as BLG to walk into this pit.
I think Shun is going to be relatively fine with this because he will have first access to these grubs as they spawn. So they're up in mere seconds. JunJia won't have any camps to steal away to punish this, so Jun with Bin's pressure on the top side and Knight arriving back to the mid lane. There should be all 3 grubs in response for Bilibili Gaming. JunJia really wanted a camp to steal back or a dive.
Does it, but they don't have vision. They don't have vision, and Rise is coming. They're going to dive again on this wave.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Vampire's immediately getting away from the turret. He's going to transcend, dash away from JunJia. Arcaroon going to get the slow. Hook from on to throw. JunJia over the turret. They knock him out of the dark passage. And here comes Knight once again. There's the Death Sentence thrown down. Moonlight Vigil going to hit. 2-man stun from Knight. And he's going to find the kill. Gala through all of that. Thanks to the green gun passive. On goes down. But again, BLG, I think they do a pretty good job covering for a dive onto Viper.
Beautiful Calibrum there from Gala. Gets that kill. The dive doesn't end up working, but again, the most important part is we zoned Viper from the wave, and we still got ourselves a kill. JunJia also saving the ultimate there. JDG are playing with such good aggression, and it feels like their early game planning is doing a lot of wonders for them right now. First Dragon, no grubs even being contested here by BLG quite yet. They'll move into the area, but Shun is still on the bottom side of the map. You can see that it's going to take both Knight and On to move into the top side and get some vision down.
The gall and gumption for JDG to see how well Bilibili Gaming have played this full court press style, dominating all lanes, looking for all these dives, and opting to play that same style, but
good.
I mean, the original founders of it are for a reason Bilibili Gaming, as they make that easy kill on the Xiaoxu.
Yeah, Bin needs to use his flash there. Let's save that summoner spell on for Knight. Let him just use his ghost at this point, and he'll be able to just walk back in the mid lane at this point. Bin gets a turret plate as well, so dealing good damage here on the other side of the map. I want to note that while if you've been looking at Western media, they may have lied to you. A certain outlet in the esports community has been talking a lot about Viper, but he has not been the main reason this team has been looking good. It really has been Knight and On who have been making such big plays and big movers and shakers for this BLG roster. And it's going to be a level or a needed path to success for BLG here in this game.
And that's also what can make BLG even scarier, that we haven't had the 1v9 Viper games that we know are going to happen at some point, Hulk, and when they do,
we hope.
That is, yeah, I really hope. I mean, manifest into reality, right? We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
I'm manifesting it. But if it does happen, I mean, that is Exodia BLG. And we technically haven't seen it yet, even with how good they've been playing.
Exactly. So we've got Dragon spawning in 2 minutes. There's not much for them to do, but Rise is doing such a good job. I want to praise HongQ because while I think his individual performance hasn't been stellar, at least here in this game number 1, I've been really impressed with not only his individual mechanics as we saw earlier, but his map movements in tandem with JunJia, who we thought was going to be an easy slot in, but hasn't found the amazing amount of success that we were looking forward to immediately here in the season.
I missed... Oh, no. So Shun and BLG got all 3 grubs off that top lane dive.
Correct.
Yep. Okay, yeah. So that's big to give side lane pressure, because we do see Gnar, you know, later in games does have a lot of agency to split push into a lot of matchups. So to get those grubs off of Xiaoxu and get into Bin's territory is always nice. Start to get grasp on some of these first item breakpoints coming across here. I guess maybe I'm not too privy to the Aphelios. The Storm Razor first, is that the new wave? I assume so.
I mean the movement speed is nice. So I mean the energized proc is okay. I've been seeing some people try to experiment with this item. We're going to do a lot of learning on the broadcast here then. So we'll see kind of grade Aphelios as to how he's doing. Right now he's in a good spot, half a level up on his lane opponent, and doing decently fine. So I want to see if Gala can perform. There's a big matchup between these two. It's been a while since we've seen Viper versus Gala. Viper joined EDG in 2021. I might have to hold this as we look for our top lane dive.
Oh, we'll get back to those big-time matchups for sure, because we've got a big bad dive coming across. JunJia trying to knock Bin out of his slice and dice. Really well done. He takes up the full turret, does get himself out. Silence come across to JunJia as the unleash power into the stun from the Syndra. Gets Viper the Arc of Ruin kill. BLG go for a big top lane dive, but everything comes with a cost against JunJia Gaming.
A whole turret in bottom lane is good. Yunara will get some of these plates, so at least getting a little bit here for Viper. But HongQ also farming. It's a decent trade. 2 kills there going over to BLG, and JDG will take a little bit of time to ravage the other parts of the map, get themselves some turret plates, maybe finish some of their quests. As you can see, already Aphelios done with his.
Back to your point, Aphelios, Gala Vampire. All because you did such good history going back and looking at some of these matchups. Tell the people about some of how these two have matched up against each other and some of the biggest moments each of them have seen on international stages as well.
I mean, when Viper joined EDG in 2021, it was a tie between RNG at the time and the EDG of that time. So spring playoffs, Gala beats Viper in the lower finals and goes on to win the entirety of playoffs. They then go on as RNG to win MSI 2021. That summer playoff, Gala and this team lose to an LNG with Icon and Tarzan, and while Viper goes to win the entire thing playing against FPX in the finals. And then at Worlds, Viper knocks Gala out of Worlds contention in top 8. He beats him in the quarterfinals and then goes on to win the entire World Championship. Now, things have obviously changed since then, but for Gala, I think there's a lot of resentment to try to beat this guy, and he knows he's a top-level AD carry, while Gala himself has kind of slipped in terms of form. We haven't seen, I think, top-level Gala in a really long time. We got glimpses of it back in 2025 with this IG roster, but it's been a while, and I think Viper has kind of stayed as the premier AD carry around the world.
But the most fun sell out of everything you just told me is when these guys match up, it's always big stakes. So matchup like this in split 1 for who can really catch BLG, and then like we talk about, we can only hope, but the way these group of set is going, think that these two teams could once again match up in one of those huge regional playoff matchups like you pointed out from the 2021 campaign from these two. So that's going to be super fun to track as we go along. But getting back into the game, one of the things we saw while we were talking about the history of our two marksmen, JDG opened up a pretty big win con. They now have the first 2 Drakes towards an Ocean Soul, while BLG have inside track to a Rift Herald and a cushion gold lead of their own.
And On's trying to fish for something. I know he doesn't see very much thanks to the control ward placed by Vampire. We have Herald here on the map, and BLG have a minor gold lead right now, but all of it is in bin. Otherwise, the game is even right now. Gala has a 30 CS lead over enemy AD carry and is close to finishing his IE. Look at the splash damage.
Oh, on. He doesn't need the hook. He's going to flash silence. Gala, he can't get the lantern. Great find for BLG. Gala is caught and sent back packing.
Man, look at the spell book as well from On. He gets the exhaust. He puts it right on top of Gala. No movement available. That opens up a free Herald, and they can even stop HongQ from pushing in the rest of this wave. No turret behind him if they really want to go for a long chase. That was exactly what BLG wanted. The laning phase wasn't clean, but I mean, we could just punish this guy on repeat. It's exactly what BLG will look for.
And that for On is exactly what we've been so excited to see him getting back to, just mechanical outplays to make picks happen.
This blue trinket, man! He gets the silence, the knock-up, the exhaust, the gray screen. Explosive play from BLG, and that's exactly what they needed to break open a stalemate. So a 2,000 gold lead now. Still, again, almost all of it is in bin, but making plays without the big bad Renekton as well. Feels very good for Bilibili.
Starting to manifest in some pretty powerful items as well, right? As we pointed out with our last Yunara showing tonight, Viper has now got the Fiend Hunter bolts with the Kraken Slayer combo. So now when he transcends, he's going to throw out some very deadly autos, especially to start a fight. Knight not too far away from getting his second item with that needlessly large rod. Maybe this will be a Shadow Flame instead of that, Cosmic Drive path we see a lot of Syndras take. Hook wide from On. Shelly out on the Rift. Scatter the Weak just to make sure nobody can try and contest this Shelly crack into the turret, and not really much of a plate left here, so more gold to BLG, but most importantly, a lot of this map on the top side wide open.
two turrets there, and we're just getting gold into Knight and Viper. Feels pretty good. I mean, I was afraid because I see level 11 on Malphite, and surely we have to be blowing flashes, but a dragon spawning in 50 seconds, and this would be the third dragon for JunJia Gaming. I think it is so important that they grab this. Maybe they try to make a play on Knight before they rotate down to the bottom side. There's no vision here.
Oh, Realm warping in. The Flying Oyster Boys going after Knight. And he will have to burn that oh-so-coveted flash Hulk that you like to highlight with him.
So no flash available for Knight, no ghost either, so he's going to have to kind of walk into this bottom lane with a little bit of hesitancy. No Malphite ult is good, but he has a ton of ability haste. It's already a quarter of the cooldown down. Thanks to the Zeke's Convergence, the Kindle Gem that he has a lot of ability haste open and available to JunJia. So as long as JDG can slow down the dragon, if they can maybe bait BLG to be a little bit more aggressive, they can very easily look for a turn on this fight.
It's very hard, though, to warrant any sort of fight for a comp with sporting Malphite, not having that ultimate available. Also just too slow off the reset, 2-item Yunara with a Renekton gets rid of that dragon easily. Another big win for BLG. They're stacking gold, and now they've slowed a real win con here for JDG.
Man, they would have loved if they could have an Ocean Soul Point right now here for JDG. But that top lane play, maybe a little bit ambitious. If that top lane turret wasn't there, maybe Knight ends up dying, but small wins here for BLG. That has almost never been something we have said about this team. Every single time for the past 3 years when we've looked at this lineup, it has been big wins after big wins, snowballing games time and time again. Now, Knight, no flash.
All right, Unstoppable Force, Vampire Hook. They've locked Knight down. They don't need their damage dealers. JunJia and Vampire, the playmakers for JunJia Gaming, getting a crucial kill.
All right, what is it though? What does this mean? What does this turn into the game? It's Knight not farming, yes, but it's HongQ finally being able to hit on this bottom lane tier 2. Okay, that's good plays. This is good ability to move around the map and start opening up things for JDG. They're looking for maybe some more damage onto this mid turret as another plate falls to Gala. But
I mean, it's so hard with this gun combo. It's really hard for Vampire to comfortably take these waves down.
Viper. They both have fangs. They both have fangs. So fair enough. But also,
did I do it? Oh my gosh!
Yep,
all right, yeah.
I think you did. Also, I think if you're usually when I talk about Yunara, she is a fantastic duelist. Also, already completed the Fiend 100 bolts, so you would think much better at being able to do that. However, Gala had already finished the Infinity Edge, and especially with those gun combos, as you were hinting to, I think that is a very even match, if not potentially going in favor of Gala. I would definitely be a little bit afraid if I was Yunara at this point. So you can see right now that mid-tier 1 going down in favor of BLG is opening up some ability for them to play a bit aggressively in JDG's jungle. You can see right now that they are fishing for a pick, looking for someone. I think Vampire is a very, very worthy target as this Thresh.
Oh, there's the hook. Gets JunJia over the wall into the Baron Pit. Dark Passage is going to get him back towards Vampire. So they'll be safe there. Does give JDG inside track with some of this vision. Vampire, Death Sentence on to On. Drops the box for the slow. He has to use the Mikhails for speed up. Hooks JunJia again into a Scatter of the Weak stun. JunJia, another Dark Passage. Gets Vampire, gets his teammate on out of there.
They can find HongQ.
Now Knight has inside track to HongQ. Slow goes first. Get a bit of damage down. Scatter of the Weak isn't available, but HongQ has to pop his Ghost. Key Summoner to get out of the Rise.
Just posturing from both teams. It might look a little strange. Vampire's doing a lot of work. I think Vampire's
dead,
Mundo
Gaming. Jun's just walking down. Who's ever in front of him? JunJia tries to go after Viper and Knight on the backside. Huge stuns. HongQ trades out Knight, but Viper gets himself out of safety. Xiaoxu with the big shield shows up for the TP. Jun with the maximum dosage is not to be trifled with. Good little response there from JunJia to save a Mundo walkdown from Shun.
Another another Knight death there is really important. I mean, that's gold still going into the back pockets of JDG, and it lets for Rise go to the side lane. Bin didn't have teleport for that play. He'll have it in the next 45 seconds, which means that BLG will have some, at least, breathing room when it comes to making cross-map plays. I think JDG are so focused on getting this top tier 1, but just haven't been able to get it. Knockup from On is okay. The damage from JDG just wasn't here, and I think On blocks so much of this Infernum ultimate. If that landed onto those multiple members, this could have been even worse here for BLG. So the support, this Blitzcrank is doing a lot of work. Maybe not intentionally, but doesn't matter, right? Like, if it happens, it happens. That's what you'll take it.
And, you know, relatively quiet, you know, first 20 minutes here for Xun. Doesn't have to do too much. How big is that for him on this Mundo that I don't know. I feel like he's just been able to power farm comfortably like he wants to. He's down camps to JunJia, but he's gotten it to Heartsteel. He has the Spirit Massage. Like, this Mundo is scaling to a tank juggernaut pretty well.
Yeah, we saw at the World Championship that the big breakpoint for Mundo was hitting level 16 because maximum dosage at that rank is ridiculous with the healing and the DR that it gives you. So with this champion, if he can actually get to that point, it'd be great. It seems like we are going for a bit of a later game. We're at 23 minutes with 14 kills. It seems like it's just generally going to be a slow game. So if Mundo can scale, that's awesome. But I just think the ability to make plays like this.
They've caught on. He'll have to sacrifice himself, just throwing down the Blitzcrank ult at the last point. Viper hasn't transcended. Knight's coming on over, and Vampire will make sure nobody gets clipped by a Scatter of the Week, because at this point for Knight, could mean a very easy kill onto a Squishy with that Shadow Flame completed.
HongQ is cut off. He's going to have to Realm Warp into this side of the fight if he wants to go for it. Viper might just take him up on that trade. Might as well stopping him. Bin with a flank.
Bin. Oh, that's a very angry Croc. JDG have no ideas in that pit. JunJia, you have a bad surprise coming for you. They're going after Gala. Bin gets the stun. Gala is caught and cut down. HongQ throws himself into the frame, but soon takes away the dragon. JDG are spiraling to find these kills, but they at least get one back onto Vampire. Bin forward onto Xiaoxu, has not gone into Mega. Huge from Vampire, gets Knight though, and now all the damage is out of BLG's comp. So it's the front line that has to get it done, and Xun is just gonna casually walk him down in his business casual attire to cut down some of these other kills. Slow after slow, knock up, no hook, but Xiaoxu, the turret won't protect him, and he's got a long walk away from Xun, who can eat all the CC he wants. Xiaoxu's death warrant has been written, and it's Bin that will finally collect it under the tier 2 turret. It's a delayed ace for Bilibili Gaming.
And the dragon is secured still here by Xun after all of that. That was a great fight there at the start for JDG, but BLG slowly make their way through, and we thought the idea was, hey, Bin's gonna go in, try to stun JunJia, maybe they just one-shot the Malphite. No, they go straight onto Gala, and Rise was never in that fight. Teleport comes in from BLG. Do they make this Baron play happen?
Well, for now, okay, they just got discovered. Good scrying warp. I don't know who that was. Yeah, it's gonna be Gala that spots it out. They're not disturbed.
They can contest. Yeah, Xiaoxu has no teleport yet. He's not even alive at this point. He has to still build Meganar. This might just be a one-way trip for JunJia.
All right, come on. Make your mark here. Steal your first Baron in the LPL, JunJia. Unstoppable force over the wall. He goes in, he steals it right from under BLG. And now Xiaoxu can TP in. He doesn't have Meganar. We knew JunJia was getting a one-way trip, even if the Inferno Moonlight Vigil comes down. But what a one-way ticket for JunJia. His first stolen Baron in the LPL.
All right, you slow down the game, but I gotta say, Slayer, I don't know if that is worth it. That Baron is gonna give you a lot of local gold, and we'll go all the way back to the start of this dragon. Perfect vision toggle. Thank you to our observers for showing this one. He's just building up the bar. He's getting all of these rage stacks, so he has the empowered stun or the slice and dice. E flash, empowered W, the stun is longer, Gala's out of that fight, and HongQ is just now realm warping in. This is as good of a fight as it was going to get, and I gotta say, Xun, we had some criticisms of his smite in some series past, but at least today, he is on point with them. Well, all the damage is not here. HongQ, it took him too long to get in here. If he was here at the beginning, this could have been a much different fight, but I loved what we got from the mid and 80 carry position out of BLG early.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Xun's smite, not good here. 54.
97. I saw 94. I thought I saw 97.
Oh, 94. Maybe it was 94. All right, you know, maybe they're hurt a lot of JDG fans in the arena tonight, but that one's hyped up for the steal.
Hey, look, any Baron steal is going to be hyped. Sometimes it breaks your heart, sometimes it brings you elation, but either way, it is just exciting. Baron here for 3 members, still.
Whoa, on. Now JunJia's going to be able to throw himself right into Shun and on. As we get
We're in
the
slow motion here on HongQ.
knock up ever. Shun's walking at Gala. And Gala's out just like that. Nobody died, guys. Nobody died.
What the hell? Guys, that was not us. You can blame the clean feed that we have. Nothing ends up happening, but it looks like BLG are in a good spot.
Oh my god, that Moonlight Vigil all nearly dies to a minion. It was a good stun from Knight. He clips Gala, but that ult is scary at this point when he doesn't burn him up.
If there was ever a time I really needed an LPL replay, it's right about now. Finally, JDG, I talked about it a while ago, but they really wanted this top tier 1. They used their Baron, and they're going to utilize it now to finally take it. A lot of crystalline overgrowth as well. So no tier 1 stand for BLG. Hopefully this means for them that they can move around the map a little bit quicker, and they'll be able to push these lanes so they can get priority once they do that. So let's see it. JDG now, I think pretty big items coming on through. We have the obviously completed Rod of Ages and the Seraphs, but an Actualizer now in his build, which is an item that has an active during which your mana and all your spells cost double. However, it means that based on however much max mana you have, you do a percentage more. So with Ryze especially, this item is huge for him. I imagine at this point, he's probably sitting where anywhere between like 30 to 35% bonus damage.
And then for our marksman, I think Gala still has the innate raw damage advantage, but an LDR done for Gala, or Viper. He will be able to throw down in a lot of these extended trades. And Shun in the jungle, 3 items tank deep, and you called out that level 16 maximum dosage. Shun is not far away from that mark.
I think he, oh man, I thought he was going to get enough experience from killing the ward there. Vampire looks for a hook, but who does he hook in this game? He has to land it onto Knight or onto Viper. Maybe if the passive is off for Shun, JunJia's in the pit by himself.
In the same brush. He's in the same brush. Is he going to pop Dominus now? Oh my god, JDG, we can't fall for the same thing again, right?
Oh,
where is
look
Ben?
At Xiaoxu.
Oh,
they know, they know!
Yeah, there he goes, Ben's going after Gala, it's deja vu! But this time, Gala gets kited back, he has enough stuns, he's safe. Ben goes into the redemption. JunJia on the front line, his other one goes low, Knight looks for a flat play on Gala, but falls flat, and the Gnar ultimate hits onto 2, into the Moonlight Vigil! Down goes Ben. Viper desperately trying to kite back as the front lines are starting to crumble, and Shun goes down next. BLG tried the same exact dragon play, and this time, it doesn't work out. JDG fight win, Ocean Soul point.
Wow, and even with a biffed start of that fight, JDG still come out the victors in that one. I mean, I thought Ben was going to find the stun again, but a few summoner spells just go a little bit wide, and the damage is not there. Gala stays alive, puts the damage out, Knight even tries to find it. We take a look at this again. How does Gala survive? I mean, he already has a little bit of a shield here. I mean, Xiaoxu, this has to be like intuition or something. He randomly throws out a Q. Gala flash. Don't look at the Malphite ult. Thank you to our observers. The shield from the Dark Passage. And then nobody from BLG is on top of him.
Get in.
Yeah, Viper's not getting in. Knight tries to flash to find something, gets nothing.
Oh no.
And now,
no, not
Viper gets caught.
Picked off.
I can't wait to see if BLG win this game, can't wait to see the Sheep Esports headline. Viper with an incredible 3-3-3 performance on Yunara. Tower goes down and BLG, they're starting to lose this one out as JDG are clutching out fights.
Oh, it was a HongQ Realm Warp and they got Flash Cleanse off of Viper and still get that kill. That is monumental.
It is the mid-jungle. A lot of players that I thought this duo were not exactly performing to expectation, but in this game with the Ryze and the Malphite, JunJia and HongQ are in perfect sync here in this game.
Xiaoxu, I mean, this Syndra hits like a truck on anybody. On's gonna hook a minion, and then Vampire gets a hook onto him. JunJia, I don't know what that unstoppable force was. But it's not going to cost him. Scout of the week on to 2. My God, it chunks HongQ down to half. Vampire's now down to half. Knight is hitting like a freight train. And JDG are scattered to the wind, backing away for BLG's Tier 2 turrets. How far do Bilibili Gaming want to chase this, though? Shun is that Mundo. He's just going to heal up. He has no fear when he has the maximum dosage. Oh, another hook goes wide. HongQ gets away from it. Dark Passage get Gala out. Vampire going to pop the spell shield from Shun with a Dark Passage. Down to about half HP, but BLG are content. Yep.
This is just Baron here. Like, JDG do not have timers to recall. Xiaoxu is going to have to TP back into this fight, but he will not have Mega Gnar here.
Realm Warp, it's fake. Nobody's coming in. JunJia has Unstoppable Force again. He's already stolen one Baron. Is he going to go for it again? No, this time, Knight gets the stun down. JunJia still wants to look for Unstoppable Force, but you can't hold any of these frontline members. He has to find Vampire. He has to find Knight. Shun pops back some doses. Straight hook from On.
He's dead.
Tower deletes JunJia. Knight looking for the turn alongside Viper's Transcendent. Xiaoxu trying to stack up the Mega Gnar bar as Ben gets very, very low. Nice full range Dark Death Sentence from Vampire. Ben goes down. BLG trade jungle for top laner, but a purple banner onto 4.
Great vision denial from BLG, and the scatter of the week obviously just makes it impossible for JunJia to find the smite steal. Now, Slayer, it all comes down to this. 2 minutes, an Ocean Soul potentially at the grasp of JDG, and it only takes a single fight from here. This is exactly what we wanted to see from the top 2 teams here in the LPL. 2 of the biggest expectations in terms of roster to depend on. Look, AL are crumbling, IG and Top Esports are not what they once were, and Weibo are still trying to do that Weibo thing. But while all of that is happening, BLG and JDG are at the top of the table, and it's only game number 1.
Whew. Got little goosebumps going on that one, Hawk. So we get set for this dragon about minute 15. I want you to talk to, all right, well, the item breakpoint I was already talking about got finished. That's huge. Viper, Infinity Edge is done. This Yunara finally has the big, damage, high octane zone now.
Doesn't have the 100% crit chance naturally, but once you proc the ultimate, should be in a good spot. It's a very big power spike, but I'm looking the other side here, Slayer. I see Gala with 4 items plus a QSS. He is nigh unkillable in a lot of these fights, and with that LDR plus a flat lethality, exactly, he is going to be in a really good spot. What can BLG do to destabilize the game? They're trying to get push in mid, but it's equalizing now. They're pushing on this bottom lane wave, but all this does is get minions onto the other side of the map. You're not going to be able to spend this gold immediately right now. And there's still a top wave that's stacking in favor of JDG, so all this control. I like the vision coming in from BLG. Let's set up an objective properly and do what we couldn't do in years past, which is, have pretty decent setups around objectives.
All right, JDG going to get some very valuable time clearing out bot river vision because Shun went far up mid lane. Should be able to get, I don't know if he's going to get his CC shield back. He's wary of going for it. Shun is susceptible to crowd control. It's a big first step to get rid of this Mundo. Shun, though, level 16, maximum indulgence, high health bars. He wants a 50-50. Gala has to flash away from an on-hook. That's a huge summoner to get down. JunJia already stolen a Baron, and this time it's Knight to secure the Ocean Drake. No Ocean Soul. Ben goes after Gala. This time, can he find that kill? No. GA gets popped, but HongQ's getting turned on here. BLG looking for the chase down. Unleash power. Gets him down to half. Shooting over the wall. Just going to walk him down. Business.
HongQ!
Business suit, but the Realm Warp gets HongQ out.
They don't get the dragon. We're going to 7 in these dragons right now, and a fantastic Realm Warp escape from HongQ. All of the flashes, they were necessary in this fight. Gala stayed alive. Bin dies again, but Knight saves the play. The man in the mid lane, the most legendary mid laner in the LPL right now. Bin and On, they do exactly what they need to. They get the flash away from Gala. They're staying on top of this objective right now. And while Xiaoxu isn't really doing much here in this fight at the start, the solo lanes of JDG are getting a lot done. HongQ's on the opposite side. He's tanking all the aggro from BLG. And this just means that Bin is getting completely soloed out as he goes on a one-way trip to try to find Gala. Ooh. And then this escape is just magic on top. Oh my god, On's dead!
On's dead. And Knight nearly goes down as well. On's gonna flash. Hold on, Blast Cone! Oh, the Death Sentence doesn't find its grip.
This is an incredibly tense fight right now. A single pick just completely opens up the game. On surviving there probably saves them a lot of headaches. We'll take a look at the picture-in-picture. What exactly happened? And they just made a play in mid, and Knight has no flash yet again. Look at this. We just came out of that replay. We go back into live. JunJia's ult is already back up. That's a minute and a half gone. And they can just make this happen again. Knight will still not have flash for 3 minutes.
He will have the Seeker's Arm Guard, so outplay potential for a Malphite ult. Maybe he can dodge a Moonlight Vigil from Gala as well with that. But yeah, losing Flash is going to make every single click Knight makes in these fights even more problematic. We've got the Ocean Drake that will decide Ocean Soul in 3 minutes, a Baron in a minute as well. 2 clear-cut moments for fights that will end this game at 37.5 minutes.
And a problem we talked about in the draft for BLG is usually they have Xun as an engager, but in this game, we're watching Bin have to be the front line in this game. I mean, Xun can really tank a lot of damage, but he can't engage for this team. All you're looking for is whether Bin can land a stun, can Knight land a stun, can On land a hook. That is it here for BLG. It is significantly more conditional, whereas JDG, it can be a hook. It can just be Malphite pulling the trigger. And it makes it significantly, in my mind, easier for JDG to kind of call their shot and kind of write the rules of engagement here in this game. So we're seeing BLG have to problem solve in real time, and they've gotten away with a lot here in this game just by being the better players in a lot of instances.
Also has Xiaoxu, who can just go in with a big Gnar ultimate. It's really BLG that need that pick, or they need Viper to churn through the front line appropriately enough, but he's just not there by this point. It's too difficult. As we start setting up another nice little skirmish. It's the battle for mid lane prio and then the vision towards Baron, but it feels like both teams are pretty content maybe waiting this out until the dragon spawns. We're under a minute 30.
Yeah, there's just no reason. I mean, because the dragon spawn is so near, it is nigh impossible. Neither of these teams have great Baron turn damage. Now, JDG are allowed to sneak this. They do have Realm Warp, so if somehow, some way, they just find a pick or someone moves too forward,
On! Scour of the Week though clips Gala on the back end. He does have to burn that QSS, but On is dead. Picked off. Nice find for JunJia. Man advantage for JDG, and they're turning their sights towards the Baron. They have a neat little window where they can burn this down before Dragon comes up.
And they can Realm Warp out, and JunJia's, look at his ultimate! It's already halfway back up, he just used it!
That's
and
disgusting.
there's still a there's still a McHale's here from Viper, or Vampire, sorry, onto Gala. Can Bin sneak in?
Is he gonna walk it and steal it? You get JunJia back, Death Sentence down the box, maximum dosage. Shun is trying to heal through all of Gala's damage. He's doing a good job.
Look at Bin!
Off to the backside flank, but HongQ picks off Viper all the way halfway across the screen. Knight is gonna find the Drake kill into HongQ. Unstoppable Force falls flat. Knight is definitely trying to kite back as Shun's health bar is unwavering. Gala is chasing him around, but Xiaoxu clips down Knight, and finally Gala gets through the Mundo. JDG ace, JDG game 1 win.
Oh, they're trying to use the bot lane wave. This is a good ultimate from On, but it's just not enough. Just having so many cleanses available to them. JDG completely outplaying that team fight. HongQ getting right into the back line. That's just it. Death timers are way too long. You called it right there, Slayer. JDG are going to open this up with first blood in the series.
We talk about BLG starting one of their most dominant runs in the LPL in years. They've only dropped 2 games coming into this matchup. Well, they've nearly doubled that count thanks to the new look JD Gaming. First edge goes their way in our series.
Look, Tabe is just trying to get some revenge on some older clubs here. He took down AL. He's gonna potentially take down BLG here. And it all starts with one game. And I gotta say, outside of some individual flubs, that was a very tough composition for BLG to play. I think definitely an adventurous one where they're, I think, maybe testing some of their own jungle champion pools right there, but a fantastic set of team fights from JDG. Just effortlessly maneuvering around BLG, and especially in our carry roles. Gala and HongQ came to play tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Gala, one thing we know about him is when he's on, like, the frame perfect flashes, like the correct kite backs, throwing out ultimates, getting the cleanses down at the right time. He's always there for that. And you saw in those fights, I'm glad you pointed out HongQ. We'll get a look at this replay. The way the camera panned away from that Baron fight, we didn't get that good of a look on how HongQ gets on top of Viper, but I've got to think it's a Realm Warp towards this Yunara. And back to your point about the composition, I felt like it was trying to do too many things at the same time, right? You talk like Xun isn't an engaged tool. Bin then has to try and dive backline to be it, but with those two that far up, like nobody can cover for Vampire. On's on Blitzcrank. That's not a great peel champion. Knight gets set. Like, it was just a little too all over the place in some of those later fights.
It's a very tough composition to play Also, I will just be honest, Vampire on this Thresh ended up having so much utility. The problem that I usually have with Thresh is that his laning is really weak because he has virtually no stats in the game, and because his passive gives him armor, he has some of the lower base armors that we see from supports in the game. So he's usually a big kind of stick that kind of gets walked over, but Bin tries to get on the back line, Dark Passage, the Flay comes through as well, and it's near impossible for him to get on there. Yeah, Vampire played this game incredibly well, and we didn't touch on them too much here in this game just because, again, you have Viper and Gala playing. Knight versus HongQ ended up being explosive as we expected. Vampire is a player that has gone through kind of through the ringer in terms of his reputation. He was one of the worst players in the league in 2023, 2024. Then he comes onto that WE roster, and it's like, okay, maybe Vampire's got some legs. This has to be the year in my mind that Vampire makes his claim to be a top 3 support in the league.
I mean, just think about at least for split 1, right? It might not be the whole year. Like, what supports are we missing that we're used to? Mako. There's no Hong. We got no Crisp around, right? Like, the door's wide open. Not just the team, but, like, how the rest of his class looks is shaping up for 2026.
I mean, right now, his competition is, like, Jue, who debuted in the same year as him, but is on a much different team. I know that we have a really big kind of soft spot for that player. And then maybe, like, Arha, but Arha's in his second kind of year.
Yeah. And then
some
there's Kyle
might even,
up there, obviously.
Yeah, but Kyle's been here for a little bit, and that guy is by and far away probably our best support. But On is playing really damn well. This game was not it from him.
No.
But other than that, I feel like On has been playing a spectacular set of games. But we don't have to talk about him because JDG obviously won that game and in spectacular fashion.
Yeah, it was awesome to watch. And, you know, seeing back on how their comms looked, we got that nice clip you missed in the pre-show. Every one of these fights, that's like all I'm thinking about, right? Is you kind of start to see it all, understanding how much Vampire and Xiaoxu are talking in some of these games. You could see how JDG move based off of the things they look for. You mentioned like how they played off of Vampire's peel with this Thresh game. They played off some of his hooks, and then Xiaoxu, maybe a little bit unsung hero, like that late Dragon fight, he gets a big Gnar ultimate onto a couple guys. The Baron Pit fight, he gets this good look on the Mega Gnar. This is what to expect for JD Gaming going forward in success. It's those two, the vocal voices, and then these carries showing up. And boy, oh man, I hate it. It hurts my Viper heart. Look at that damage split. That's disgusting.
I think we're just seeing that Yunara is not as OP as some people say. Like, it's very reasonable that she has high priority, but there are a ton of answers. Aphelios and Corki were ones that we saw earlier today. And obviously Aphelios here tonight, right now. Just good laning phase and a decent team fighter, but it does take a little bit of time and you need space. And while he has the front line, I don't think he has the necessary crowd control here. Some of these highlights, I mean, they put a lot of effort to get Bin into a spot where he's supposed to be kind of their pseudo-tank engage champion. You kind of saw his build where he gets Black Cleaver, he has the Sterix, the Shojin, so he's going to have a lot of HP, and he also got level 20, so he's just very, very tanky. But aside from that, I mean, the threat on the backline was just not there. Also, maybe an uncharacteristic Knight game. Getting solo killed at level 1 or level 2 was pretty tough.
Yeah. He gets caught, right? Like, remember what you saw in the picture-in-picture at one point late in that game? He has to burn Ghost Flash because him and On get caught in this top river brush. Like, these are not characteristic Knight plays, without a doubt.
I can't believe this second play doesn't end up working here for Bin, man. Like,
Gala.
This is the one that works. This is the one that works, not the next one.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Oh, it is this one.
This is not the one that works. Yeah, because Gala, what does he see? He flashes. I don't even understand. It's so fascinating how your brain can process like that. He maybe gets whatever the quickest a human reaction can be. I think it's like 0.8 seconds for like MLB hitters or something. Like 0.8 seconds, he sees a Renekton and he's flashing away from him like instantly. There's no thought in his mind except this is what I have to do to survive, and it's so cool to see.
He was one of our best team fighters. It took him a little bit when he was playing with Mako, and I'm assuming that some of that is still kind of calibrating with Vampire in the lane. But after 2 series, it felt like him and Gala were really starting to click. And I mean, if this is the Gala that we're going to get for the entirety of the year, then I think this is really a JDG lineup that we can be continuously proud of, and hopefully we can see at internationals representing us. I mean, there's so many LPL seeds going into all of the HongQ, man.
That's what I want to see, right? We didn't get to see it during the fight. Yeah, he just pounces on Viper at the perfect moment.
So, MVP for this game, Gala. Yeah, very clearly Gala. If not Gala, then it's HongQ. But, like, I think there are many, many reasons you could pick HongQ. Like, just the solo kill alone is iconic. But many fights in here where Gala is smurfing out of his mind.
The more I think about this game, the more I realize it's just not good for my brand. I wouldn't be mad. I'm saying this. This is Slayer saying it. I wouldn't be mad at like a Vampire. He's not gonna get a Vampire play of the game. Some things you talked about, like Gala doesn't do this if Vampire isn't playing out of his mind. But there we go. Gala finally matching back up against Viper when they've been known for always having heater head-to-heads when they see each other. Gala wins round 1.
And a great start here to this series. This is very similar to that BLG AL series. Started off game 1, Tarzan on the very first Jace, and the only Jace we've had in LPL. Completely smurf, and then BLG kick it on for game 2 and game 3. So I'm hoping the same here delivers.
We'll have to see here. A little bit of suspect performances from Knights. Viper can't really get going in that game because JDG had a plan, stuck to it, and were unwavering. What a start. JunJia Gaming looking to try and cement themselves as a true contender in the LPL for Split 1. We'll see if they can do that by sweeping out BLG, undefeated BLG. We'll find out and more after another break before Game 2.